Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Dreamfinders Homes, Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, and Bowden Eye and Associates.
Hello and welcome into Armada Kickoff. The Armada began a stretch of 5 matches in 18 days to finish the season last night. And as everyone is recovering from their experience with Hurricane Matthew, the Armada have some work to do before turning their attention to the 2017 season. We have some highlights from last night's match against Indy 11, and we'll hear from some of the players about how they weathered the storm. Plus, Mauricio Ruiz and David Hayes join me in just a bit. We'll talk with the U.S. men's national team as they prepare for next month's World Cup qualifier against Mexico. But let's start with last night's long-awaited match. The Armada and Indy 11 were supposed to play on Saturday, but Hurricane Matthew changed those plans. And unlike some other sports, there was no controversy here. So last night, the two clubs got together for the third and final time this year. Armada looking for just their second ever win against Indy 11 in a match that was pushed back to Wednesday night. 5th minute, Charles Ilundu starting to put his mark on things, gets the shot away, goes over the top with it. But the Armada certainly on the front foot through most of this contest. They really dominated in terms of possession. When Indy had a chance, though, they could have been dangerous. This one by Justin Braun just wide of a diving Miguel Gallardo, 0-0 the first quarter hour. 31st minute, look at the quick move from Pekka Lagerblom to Matt Boehner. Got it on his left foot, forcing John Bush to make a diving save. Boehner, aiming for his 4th goal of the year, was denied by the 40-year-old goalkeeper for Indy. 51st minute, Armada go over the top. Tyler Ruthven to Zach Steinberger. Steinberger liked the idea, but couldn't quite execute in the box. 65th minute, Jamal Johnson into the game, putting his mark on things early on as a sub. Johnson just outside the 18, put it on the ground. May have been just wide, but Bush had to go down to cover it nonetheless. 71st minute now, Charles Ilundu in the box, looking for room. A lot of white shirts in the area. Zach Steinberger got a foot on it. They couldn't quite get it. Mark Lowry thought that might have been an excellent chance for the Armada, but they couldn't get it done. 88th minute, Derek Gebhardt on as a sub, and his pace certainly creating some opportunity. Should this have been a penalty in the box? Mark Lowry sure thought so. Didn't get the call. Still 0-0 at that point. 89th minute now, corner kick for Indy. They're dangerous here. Ball falls to the foot of Justin Braun, but Miguel Gallardo with the save to maintain the clean sheet. Gallardo has conceded only one singular penalty kick in the last 5 matches.
You know, I think the whole team worked hard. The back four again gets a clean sheet with Miguel. Marapa and Scaglia worked hard, and then Pekka gave us a solid 65 minutes. And Keita did some great work up top, holding the ball up. You know, he's just lacking that goal right now. But I thought Derek Gebhardt came in at the end and did well, and maybe could have won a penalty right there, but it wasn't to be. I just think a little more quality on that last pass or that last shot is the difference right now.
I mean, right now I think we're playing defensively very well. That's our second shutout in as many games. So we were lucky to. I think we were fortunate to get the goal in Minnesota, and that was due to our hard work.
Wish those clean sheets were connected to wins, but as an old coach of mine said, if you're not going to win, at least don't lose. So as I get older, I realize that I can't move as well as I used to. So I got to become better at organizing and preventing dangerous plays. And hopefully we leave this behind and focus on trying to get a good result against the Cosmos that our fans deserve.
All right, here are the stats. A 0-0 game. The Armada had the best of it in most categories here, certainly in terms of shots on goal, possession as well. They just couldn't find the net. 5 straight unbeaten for the Armada, though. Only one of those 5 has been a victory. Now let's head to the Analyst Roundtable, presented by Subway.
Players that you can switch around, and we're going to be very strong.
We saw a lot of different players, a lot of different lineups.
Here on the Analyst Roundtable, we get to spend some quality time with Mauricio Ruiz. We called the game last night between the Armada and Indy 11. What did you take out of that game?
A very organized unit on both sides. The Indy 11 as well. There's a reason why they won the spring championship, and they're going to be in the playoffs now. But the Armada, they continue to do things the right way. Now they're missing that final product, but in 5 games now, only allowing 1 goal by the form of a PK. It's pretty special. You don't see that very often. That final product really changed things up a little bit.
You think maybe it's one guy getting hot or one player taking that next step in terms of the attack, and these go from a lot of draws to some more wins.
Well, I think the building blocks that Coach Lowry has implemented in the past few weeks since he's been in charge has been how are we going to defend, how are we going to establish our possession in midfield, and then really starting position on the wide. You know, it looks so like Charles Olundu, where it was kind of big. He was always electric and exciting, but a bit lost at times as well. Well, he's got a purpose on the field now. You can see what he's trying to do. So once those attacking players continue to embrace what the roles are, I think you see the final product, regardless of who's in that number 9 position or guys coming in underneath.
Well, the other thing the Armada did, they won without the use of Kevon George. How much did they miss him, if at all, though, against Indy 11?
Well, I think you would expect him right next to Maripu. I think that relationship between the two, you know, they're both over 6 foot tall. They're both good in the air. They both have a good range. I think they contribute each other extremely well. But Kevon's range, I think, brings a little bit more to the team. I think he's a little more energetic. So I expect him to see him back, and they miss him just from a ball tackling standpoint, from aerial standpoint. Even though Sky a couple times actually won the ball between Justin Brown. But when you identify roles, Skyler performed his role extremely well yesterday. So I don't think the team saw a big drop off, but I expect them to see him back on the lineup.
Whole team playing very smart right now, that's for sure. All right, Mauricio, don't go too far. More from UConn up here in just a bit. Let's hear now more from Mark Lowry. His team will certainly be busy for the rest of the month of October. 4 matches in the next 17 days. Here's Coach's Corner presented by Asana Wellness Center, the official training facility of the Jacksonville Armada.
In terms of time, it's 2.5 weeks between Indy and Tampa. Our next game and the final game of the season is 2.5 weeks. And we have the trip in there to Edmonton. So finding days for quality training is going to be tough. But at this point, it's probably going to take a pre-season into next season. There's some concepts that just take a little bit longer. But I think right now we're in a good place. Physically, we're in a good place. Mentally, and we just want to finish the season on a positive note. I think these guys do. They deserve it. The fans deserve it. The whole club, the front office, deserves to have a little bit of success, something to cheer about in these final 5 games.
It's easy when a team is looking at the postseason as a motivator.
Oh yeah.
Where do you go to find motivation for these?
That's why we have to stay focused on the journey. If we look at the destination is the postseason. We're not in it. But if we focus on the journey, which is day to day, getting better as players and as a team day to day, that's the motivation. And I think these guys understand that. We have a good group here. That's definitely how I work. To me, at this point, it's irrelevant whether we're in the postseason or not. It's about getting better. So if we approach each day with that mindset, then we'll get through.
Well, as you might expect, Hurricane Matthew had a number of Armada players and staff on edge, like the rest of us. Here are some of the stories about how some Armada players fared during the storm.
I mean, it was nerve-wracking, to be fair, right in the beginning because, you don't think it's going to be a big deal. And then suddenly, the gas station lines are crazy, the grocery store, everybody getting water, so they started making panic a little bit. But, I'm just obviously very thankful about the way that Jacksonville and the rest of Florida handled the situation, to be honest. It was a little bit of a scary moment, especially because we were in an evacuation zone. I went to Orlando with my family and everything was okay. We came back and there were just a couple of little trees down, but it wasn't a big deal. And, I know a lot of other people got it worse, and, hopefully they get what they need to get back to their normal lives as soon as possible.
Defender Brian Burke is a California native, and he's been through earthquakes, but this was something else entirely for him.
It's interesting because I've never seen anything like that, kind of like an apocalypse kind of thing, where you go to Publix and everyone's grabbing water. I was like, wait, why is everyone getting water? But so then you see everyone getting gas too. I was like, maybe I probably should get out of here.
Burke finally made the decision to bug out after some urging from his teammate.
Beto, my roommate.
Yeah.
Starting Tuesday, when he heard there was a hurricane, he's like, we need to leave today. I was like, Beto, that hurricane's not till for Friday. He's like, doesn't matter, we're leaving today. Let's go.
Perhaps no member of the Armada was hit harder by the hurricane than Haitian Meshach Jerome, who was keeping a close eye on things back home as he was training for the Haitian national team.
By Port-au-Prince, it looked fine because it was rain, and we're still training in the rain, but in the south, it's really bad. I see it on the news too, but I didn't go down there because it's too bad. I have my friend living in the south. He's in Port-au-Prince right now. He's only got his passport. Everything is underwater.
Yeah.
Then he didn't keep anything. Everything is gone.
Jerome had an interesting decision to make. Go to Haiti or Jacksonville. In both cases, landfall was a possibility.
I was scared because he was coming to Jacksonville too. I have my wife and my kids in the house, and they tell me it's getting bad, and I was lucky my car with the tree. He almost fell on my car. Everything is good now. I'm good to be back.
Players, like many of the rest of us, fortunate to not have been hit harder by the storms for sure. Here's what's coming up for the Armada. This is the rest of the regular season. This is what's remaining. Saturday against the New York Cosmos. Wednesday, a match that was originally scheduled for this past Wednesday, moved earlier in the year. They'll take on Miami FC. Then the final road match of the year is they go to Edmonton on the 23rd. That Sunday, October 30th game, the day after Florida, Georgia. Last game of the year for the Armada, taking on the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Tickets are available by calling 844-2-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com. Just one more spot up for grabs in the chase for the NASL Championship. We'll have a closer look. Plus Mauricio Ruiz in the Armada boot room. Stick around. More Armada Kickoff is straight ahead.
To enter for your chance to participate in the Winn-Dixie Bubble Battle, visit your nearest Winn-Dixie in your Armada gear, take a selfie, and post it to any of the Armada social media using the hashtag WinnDixieBB. 2 winners will be selected every Wednesday during a home match week. Assemble a team of 3, and you're ready for battle.
Indy 11 and the New York Cosmos were joined by FC Edmonton, punching their ticket for the NASL Championship semifinals. Let's go around the NASL, presented by Nike.
Let's start on a snowy day in Canada, where FC Edmonton was hosting the Tampa Bay Rowdies. 13th minute, Ben Fisk with his second NASL goal. Edmonton, a 1-0 victory over Tampa Bay. Cosmos and Ottawa Fury playing in Canada as well. 54th minute, bad clearance by Jimmy Maurer. Ryan Williams takes advantage to give the Fury the lead, but the Cosmos would equalize when Juan Arango puts home his 12th goal, most on the squad. 1-1 the final, a draw between the Cosmos and Fury. Carolina Railhawks and Fort Lauderdale Strikers, no problem for Carolina. Big victory thanks to Austin Deleuze, who scores his 5th goal of the year, and Nasby Al-Badawi, who sets up Brian Shriver with the goal, the 10th assist of the year for Al-Badawi. That's a single-season record in the modern NASL. Rayo OKC and Miami FC after 4 consecutive draws. Rayo scores an impressive win over Miami FC in South Florida. Michel converts on a penalty kick, his 11th goal this year. 7 of them have been from the penalty spot. Puerto Rico FC and Minnesota United. Puerto Rico missing 3 regular starters, away on national team duty. Christian Ramirez, the league's leading goal scorer, missed the match as well as he recovers from a high ankle sprain. Minnesota and Puerto Rico FC end in a 0-0 draw.
Here are the standings right now in the North American Soccer League in the fall season. Cosmos out on top. Remember, the fall season and spring season champions not only get a spot in the NASL Championship semifinals, but they will host. So Indy will already host. Cosmos have a 5-point lead to host the first round as well. And in the combined standings, it's the next 2 best overall records. So let's assume the Cosmos and Indy 11 both get in, because they will, certainly Indy will with the spring season championship. Edmonton's already clinched a spot. So it's the intriguing matchup here. Look at Minnesota United, Rayo OKC, the Rowdies, Carolina Railhawks, Miami FC, Fort Lauderdale Strikers, all within 3 points. That's just 1 win of the 4th and final spot in the NASL Championship semifinals. We'll keep a close eye on this for the rest of the way. Now let's head to the Armada boot room, presented by MTech. All right, back here in the Armada boot room, Mauricio Ruiz, and let's file this one under teaching an old dog new tricks. You're really seeing the evolution of Keita's game, particularly over the last several weeks here, and you think it's a real difference maker, not only for the club, but for Keita himself.
Well, and they're really subtle changes, but it's really tough to teach an older player. He's about to be 33 years old, a new role, a new substance to his game. It's not a tough one. But a player like Keita, he's very elusive. He wants the ball. He wants to go at players. But that's not what Coach Lario wants him to do at this stage in his career. So we're going to show a couple clips of how he's matured as a player and how that's going to allow to extend his career a little bit. So just really simple, Cole. It's going to start off with his positioning in the midfield, in the attacking position. He's always centralized always looking for the two center backs and trying to keep those two guys occupied. So you're going to see that through the remainder of the clips, how he's just always there and he becomes a distributor. He's allowing the guys to get around, and then once again, he's just right in there. You'll see Keita in the past maybe making his run or even a possibility going back towards the ball. But look at his now, once we talk about his evolution of learning his role. Just stays nice and central, just gives out the ball to a midfield player, and once again, he's off the screen at the moment, but we're going to pause in a second, and once again, where is he? Right in between the two center backs, occupying those two guys, and allowing the other players, the playmakers of the team, to get into scoring opportunities. Charles Orlando, Matt Boehner overlapping. It's a cross that doesn't result into anything, but if you stop and freeze, where's Keita again, right in the middle of your screen, doing his job, performing his role. So go over to the next one. A little bit of the same. Great tackle from Kevon George. Where's Keita? Center midfield, right in there. What would Keita do here in the past? Listen, a couple months ago, I would have told you that he's going straight at these two guys here. He's taking his space, trying to penetrate. 33 years old, maybe doesn't have the same legs. So give up the ball, Keita, and get yourself nice and high again. Allow Danny Barrow and other players with a little bit more spark to them at this point. Keita in the middle of your screen, just looking for those second balls as well. And finally, last one, trying to find Keita. Where is Keita? Should be the motto here. Once again, just right in the center of your screen, doing what a forward should do. Looking for the balls into feet, little 1-2 combination. Charles Orlando probably should ask for this ball back. But once again, Cole, just in good positionings, performing high percentage completion of passes from Keita. And last night against the Indy 11, he did a lot of the same, and he gets himself into some good scoring opportunities.
And you think this is going to continue to give him opportunities to score goals, but also is going to facilitate more on the attack for his teammates?
Oh, absolutely, and I think that's what he needs to be now. He needs to be a facilitator. And 33 years old, you can't take over the game anymore. You have to give guys like Charles Orlando, Danny Barrow, Zach Steinberger, guys that have a little bit more juice to their legs, allow them to flourish more, but he can still be very useful for the team.
All right, sounds good. Mauricio, thanks so much. All right, we'll head back to the Analyst Roundtable, where we'll discuss what the U.S. must do between now and next month's matchup with Mexico. Stick around. More Armada Kickoff right after this.
Now is the time to renew your Armada season tickets for 2017. Call 844-2-ARMADA or go online to armadafc.com. There are some new dates as a result of the storm and some great benefits that you can receive as a result. Just call 844-2-ARMADA or go online to armadafc.com and get locked in for 2017.
Players that you can switch around, and we're going to be very strong.
We saw a lot of different players, a lot of different lineups.
All right, back here on the Analyst Roundtable, wouldn't you know it, Mauricio Ruiz back for more. All right, let's talk about the U.S. men's national team. A 1-1 draw on Tuesday against New Zealand. What did you take out of that one?
My take is that our next phase, our next generation of players are still very much being considered for the nucleus of this current team. You look at someone like Kelly Acosta, Julian Green. Would like to see Pulisic play a little bit, but what I liked is the fact that Josie Altidore, he's starting to come back into what Klinsmann always thought he could be, a goal scorer. And right now, he looks like a player that is a good post-up player. He's not taking anyone over speed, but he looks like that target player. How is the team going to form based on that? I think it'll be different, but I think there's some really good options at this moment that at this point in the previous World Cup, I don't think we had the same options and the quality of options that we have now.
I think when you look for Mexico coming up here in the Hex, what you saw against Cuba and against New Zealand, a lot of it's going to be a lot different. Obviously, some of the players went back to play for their clubs, but one of the interesting questions is what kind of formation will Jurgen Klinsmann utilize? Because 4-3-3 wasn't all that impressive and maybe doesn't fit when they have the full squad, doesn't really fit the personnel that the U.S. is going to run out there.
Well, I think he's shown that he wants to play a 4-4-2. Whether it's a flat 4-4-2 or the diamond 4-4-2, I think it depends on who he chooses, right? And I think that's really the biggest question on the limit of players, on the 30 players that he has to choose from. And we can argue between the last 5 guys or not. It depends on who they are. Is it Bobby Wood underneath? Is it Bobby Wood with Josie Altidore up top? Then it makes it a 4-4-2. If he plays a 4-2-3-1, then who are the 3 guys in the middle, and where does Pulisic fit into that equation? I think the biggest and the best surprise that we've gotten lately is Sasha Kljestan. Yep. We've never had a number 10. We've missed Donovan a little bit, and Sasha right now, he provides goals and opportunities for everybody else, and he's on a great form.
All right, let's turn our attention back to the Armada. Saturday against the New York Cosmos. It's rare, for whatever reason, 2 years. Both times it's been 2 games in New York, 1 game in Jacksonville. So this is the first time since that Tommy Krzanovich goal that the Armada will be hosting the New York Cosmos. What do you expect?
Well, the funny thing is about the Armada team, even though they're bottom of the table, they stand up for big games, as they did against Minnesota United a couple weeks ago in Minnesota. And against the Cosmos, they seem to always have that same air to them. So I expect them, the current form is what you have to judge the team based on their current form. And right now, you would have to assume that they're one of the better teams in NASL. Last 5 games, undefeated, not giving up a whole lot of goals. Coach Larry will study, will make sure the team's well prepared, but I don't think that they're going to, they're not going to roll over and just expect, just because the Cosmos are in first place, to come in here and be an easy game. I think they're going to give them a good challenge.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Mauricio, thanks so much. Coming up, a look ahead to what's to come this week as the Armada prepare for those New York Cosmos. Stick around, more Armada Kickoff is straight ahead.
Saturday, the Armada faced the New York Cosmos for the 3rd time this year. Jacksonville began the season with a loss at New York, then lost in mid-season in midweek in the fall. It's the first and only time the Cosmos will come to Jacksonville this year. Last year, the Cosmos only made 1 trip to Florida as well. In that game, Tommy Krzanovich scored a goal to give the Armada the victory over the Cosmos.
All right, so here are the details on Saturday's match. It's presented by We Got Soccer. And a 7 o'clock kickoff. Coverage beginning at 6:30. Tickets are available by calling 844-2-ARMADA or by going online to armadafc.com. It is Military Appreciation Night as well at Community First Park. Remember, you can get the very latest on the Armada online at armadafc.com. And on radio, you have 2 ways to join us during the week. On Sports Radio 930, Mondays at 6, it's the Armada Coaches Show. And Wednesday at 6, it's the Armada Soccer Show. Saturday, the Armada and the New York Cosmos once again from Community First Park starting at 6:30. Kickoff at 7 right here on CW17. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time right here on Armada Kickoff.
Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Dream Finders Homes, the mark of a quality home.